As the first humans to ever venture out this far into the frontier.
Too fast! Sensitive poison damage.
Get out!
I thought we were both goners.
Always bring a light. I'm Lau, a member of the mineralogy team, and I'm so happy to finally see another human face around here. Yes? We landed a bit southwest of here, right into the nests of some monsters. 2 of my friends were killed the moment we left the boat, and a couple others were caught. We had to make a run for it. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Camera Show. I'm Operation DX, and welcome to the 10th episode of my Planet Explorers version 0.72 Let's Play. During the previous episode, me and Chen were looking for David Slide, and we ended up coming across some ancient ruins, but David Slide was nowhere to be found. Chen headed back to base camp while I continued on to search for more survivors. It looks like Lau's shop is going to allow us to tech up to the next set of tools, which is iron. It also looks like he has some other goodies, such as ore and glass. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and sell our turrets off right now, because we need the meat, so we can buy some goodies from this guy. Let's go ahead and learn the crafting recipes for the iron tools. And hopefully we have enough iron to craft these. So let's go ahead and craft ourselves some new tools. At this time, iron should be kind of a non-issue for us, as I spent a good bit of time mining out that meteorite location. So that should have given us enough to keep us well stocked and get us by for quite a while. Now that we got our tools crafted, let's go ahead and fit them to our hotbar. Now we just have one more set of tools to get through, which is the gold set, and that's the highest level for this build of the game.
Hey! Glad to see you're still in one piece. I'm okay other than a pulled muscle in my left leg. But what the hell? How did the Epiphany crash like that? I get we probably hit something floating in orbit, but the ship was designed to take a punch from an object traveling at 10% C. Those damn Earth yards probably shortchanged the materials again. Corrupt bastards. Nice to see ya. We touched down a ways southwest of here. It wasn't pretty. The landing radar got screwed up by some interference and we came in way too hot. The boat landed in a nest of those fire bears. Nasty suckers. We lost a bunch of people right away. It was chaotic. We just ran as fast as we could and pretty much left everything at the crash site. Got stuff for me? I thought you'd never ask, since you were never interested back on the ship. Alright, I'll teach you the basics of the art of creation. But from now on, you must call me Master Mustafa. Good student. Let's begin. Got stuff for me?
Okay, so this is the part of the game that encourages us to check out the item creation system. So I might as well show a little bit of an example here of how this system kind of works. If you're not familiar with the game, let's just check this out. This is pretty much what I was talking about all during last episode and how cool the system is. So throughout our questing, we can find scripts for better base materials for each kind of weapon or whatever we're making. So here is like the lowest tier. It's a wood kind of handle for our sword. And then we can use the editor to kind of shape out what the sword is going to look like. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here making something fancy here in the editor, but what I am going to do is kind of just run down the basics of the editor here for you. So Okay, so let's start off with the right-hand side. You notice that little slider that lifted the plane there, this little red plane. This is where your blocks are going to start when you try to place them in the editor. And if you notice, I had misplaced my blocks there, so now I moved the plane up. There's also symmetry mode in this editor. This is a feature you're really starting to see a lot of these kind of games, and it's so good. I'm so glad that developers of these kind of games are getting smart and putting these kind of things in. So you can see how symmetry mode can help you to make really cool things. You don't necessarily have to build every little part. If you just want to build, say, half the sword, you can do that, no problem here. You can also see how you can get really detailed here with certain parts by clicking individual blocks, and you can also kind of round the corners. There's lots of different tools down here that we can mess around with. On the left side, we have a bunch of different materials that we can work with. If you want to have a, say, gold sword or silver sword, or if you want to have an iron sword, you can choose from all the different material types on the side there. That will help dictate how much damage the weapon does and how much it's going to cost in materials. You can't just bring these in the world unless you have the materials to build these items, which is another really cool thing. Another thing you can do here is select blocks and delete them. There's just so many little details you can do. I'm, of course, not going to save that, but there is a small example of what the editor can do.
There was a Martian doctor with us. She went back to the crash site even when we told her it was certain death. Lau wants to go to the crash site to see if anyone else survived. I can't really help in my current state, but I really want to get back there as well and see if I can salvage anything. If you can go clear out those pesky bears, that would be a great help.
Fine, even though there are bears that can shoot fire, but since I'm going there anyways, I'll clear them out.
Great deal. I'll wait here until you get back. Good luck. You might really need it. What's up?
You know, engineering isn't my only talent. I can also design some awesome armor as well. Right now I'm working on some pretty nifty armor. Want to give it a try? But I do need the materials.
What's up?
Well, that figures. I don't have all the materials I need to complete this quest, but you know what I'm going to do? We're going to talk to good old Lau and buy them off of him. That should be able to satisfy that quest. I think we have plenty of meat to do this, as we've done plenty of hunting on our way here. Let's buy a little extra. Of course, we spent all that copper on the bullets, too. Darn it!
Nice to see you.
Alright, let's complete this quest. Good deal. Here are the scripts for the copper armor set. Pretty good, don't you think? Very cool. So she just gave us the scripts for copper armor. Although I don't really like to build the armor, especially because I don't want to waste the resources, because we're going to need copper for other things.
Yeah.
Well, now let's check out Adisa's shop. So we're going to sell off our old sword here. We actually have one that we have in our inventory right now. We'll have to sell that one too. Looks like she has the iron armor on her. That is actually great. Better than the copper armor, so that's perfect. We'll be putting that on in a second. It also looks like she has the steel sword, so we're going to buy that as well. And let's see if she has any other goodies. So judging by her inventory here, it looks like she is the one that's going to give us the quest to actually build a vehicle. We're definitely going to have to get that quest going pretty soon here. But before we check out that, let's go ahead and fit our new armor. I love changing armor sets. It really makes you feel like you're making some progress here. And like I said, I love the progression, the speed of progression in this game. It feels good. So let's go ahead and spin around the camera. Oop, I gotta hit the F key. Spin around the camera, take a look. I think it looks pretty snazzy. Not really futuristic. It looks kind of more medieval, but I definitely like it. Looks cool. Like I said, the higher tier sets start to look more futuristic, which is fitting for some of the stuff that you end up using, and we'll probably see some of that in the near future. Well, our crafting menu is getting more and more beefy, and it even gets more ridiculous.
What's up?
We can't just run around this place on 2 legs. Since all the vehicles are on the Epiphany, we'll need to make our own. First, we need to make some wheels. For that, we're going to need wood and rubber. Please go find some. The plants along the beach should give us what we need.
Hey, hey!
Okay, to satisfy this quest, we're going to have to actually get more wood because we've already cut down some rubber trees. We don't need to go all the way to the beach. There are rubber trees all over the place. What we do need is wood, so we're going to go and cut down the big arch tree over here because we can use all the stuff that comes with it, especially resin. So we will need some of that stuff to craft some of the components I believe that she's going to give us. I think she's going to give us scripts. She's actually not going to give us the components. Although we are going to try to buy as much of this stuff as we possibly can so that we don't have to go on a big frenzy mining stuff. But I would like to kind of complete this quest line. This is kind of a side quest line, but we definitely want the ability to build vehicles. In terms of progression, I think this is kind of an odd spot to get vehicles, and the reason why I say that is we're about to go into the forest, and we can't really drive around our vehicle in the forest. We can drive it in these grasslands and in the desert, but the forest is just kind of too thick and too many hills. By the time we exit the forest, we're going to have the ability to have flying vehicles, so I think it's a somewhat odd choice to have it where it is right now. It may have been useful a little bit earlier than this, but again, I kind of like the feel of the progression, and maybe later in the story there may be kind of like a purpose to have vehicles to drive around. But once I get that flying vehicle, I mean, I love the flying vehicles in this game, and I kind of don't turn back, you know. It's like, yeah, land vehicles are cool, but it almost feels like you want to build like a road system to like make your vehicles run along smooth terrain, especially with the earlier vehicles. Like, you'll hit bumps and it'll do damage to your vehicle. We'll probably see a little bit of that in a little bit here. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut down some rubber trees anyways, because you know what's kind of odd too about some of these quests is they'll ask for the type of material they want to build the item, and then they'll take the materials and give you the script. It would be nice if they actually gave you the script and the component, so you didn't have to necessarily build it, but it's cool. It's all good. There actually is no complaining there. I do not mind whatsoever.
Need anything?
Nice work. Here's the script for the wooden wheel. Once you replicate it, you can use it in the creations editor.
Nice to see ya.
Now that you have the wheel, here comes the hard part. A vehicle is made up of a cockpit and engine. The engine itself is made up of multiple chipsets and materials. For these, we're going to need a lot of resources. Here's a list. Get on it. Chop chop.
Nice to see ya.
So, when you're building a vehicle in the editor, you need to make sure you have all the components built before you can export the vehicle into your inventory. So you gotta have the materials you make the vehicle out of, say steel or aluminum or metal, and then you gotta have the core components that the vehicle needs, like the wheels, the cockpit, the engine, and so on. As far as the vehicle frame and the overall look of your vehicle is completely up to you and your ability to make something cool and interesting in the editor. The more materials you spend in the editor, the more it's going to cost in the end to build that, so you have to be kind of mindful. Also, vehicles have weight, so if you make your vehicle too heavy and your engine isn't very powerful, you may have a problem getting the vehicle to move very fast, or at all. One of the things that's really cool about the editor is as you're about to export your vehicle, it'll give you little caution signs or warnings if the vehicle isn't adequate. For example, the first time I built a vehicle, I missed the fact that I had to designate some wheels for turning. And with that little caution flag, I was able to correct the issue and export the vehicle without any trouble. Alright, Lau, looks like your mining efforts have paid off and you're making a good bit of money off of me.
What's up?
Great, okay, now remember you'll need to replicate the chipsets first, as they are necessary parts needed to replicate an engine. Okay, no problem, looks like we should be able to get to the next step without any trouble here.
Need anything?
Good, good. Now that we have wheels and an engine, we need a fuel cell to power them. I'm very close to finishing the script for it. Can you go get these materials so we can get that done?
Nice to see ya.
Okay, so unfortunately, this is a resource that we have not collected yet. we're actually going to need a whole bunch of petrol, so we're going to head over to the beach and get us some. This is a part where I also got a little lost when the first time I played this game, and I didn't know where to find the petrol, but it is usually along the beach here off to the side when you get to this location. And one of the things that's really helpful is to just use your scanner. Pull out your scanner and just go along the beach and try to find the oil. Now, the thing that's kind of a pain about the petrol is that it's buried under the water, so I'm really kind of hoping that they kind of figure this whole water thing out, as there doesn't seem to be a lot of petrol outside of the beach areas. There very well may be, but I haven't found any. However, with the crafting ratios of actually building the fuel, it's kind of a non-issue, and especially the fact that we are now using iron tools, we're going to net a lot more resources per shovel dig or per axe swing. And we're almost top tier here, so I'm just kind of trying to avoid the animals here while I'm in the crafting menu. But we do have a leg up here as we're using better armor, and we now have ourselves a steel sword. And if you may have noticed there, I crafted a whole bunch of steel. I'm going to be making my vehicle out of steel, so that's one of the reasons why I need it, but I also think I need some steel for some of the components, and, well, we got our steel sword there, so we can sell that sword, and I think I got rid of the other one, so I think we're good to go here. This guy actually should be almost a one-shot. Yep. Almost a one-shot, but not quite. This is kind of a tactic you're going to have to use quite a bit here. When you actually swing your sword, they immediately start running away because the steel sword does a ton of damage, so you got to quickly pull out the rifle and get them before they run away. Alright, so we're almost at the beach, so we'll have to break out our scanner and find some oil. Now, I already know that there is some oil in this location, again, because I've played through the storyline, but I don't remember exactly where it is, so we will have to break out the scanner to find some. Typically, you'll see some like black spots in the water as it recedes, and you'll kind of see where the oil is located. I'm just opening the map real quick here to kind of get an idea of where I'm at. I'm trying to remember where it is exactly. I think we're at a point where we can just head down the beach here in a southern direction, and we should run into it. Well, best thing to do, like I said, open the scanner, we'll scan for it. Hey, look at that. Whoa, right underneath us. Perfect. So we have some petrol in this area, and we don't need a ton of it. We'll just scoop a couple of scoops up, and we'll be good to go. It's actually a good thing that we opened our scanner at this very moment, because there was really no indication on the beach whatsoever that there was petrol in this location. And we're also going to need sand for the glass, because the cockpit requires glass, so this is all good here. So none of this is really going to go to waste. The glass in this game is kind of expensive as far as resources go. It's like 30 units of sand to one piece of glass. So gonna need a bunch of that. We're not gonna go super crazy again. We'll just wait till we get some gold tools. But if you notice there, it looks like we're picking up 6 per dig there. Or 12. Ooh, we got 12. Oh no, it was petrol. Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes you get like a ton of resources for these. It's kind of confusing a little bit. So sometimes you get less, sometimes you get more. Again, we don't really need a ton of it, and it's kind of interesting too, because you would think like you'd have to fill up the gas tank on your vehicle or whatever, but you don't really need to. Once you craft those fuel cells, it's more of an energy-based kind of system than it is something that runs on fuel. So we need to find a way to recharge it. And of course, we can't use that little solar array to recharge our vehicle. That is, of course, the benefit of having a colony or a base, but we're still a little ways off from grabbing that, but we are definitely making some good progress. If we're already building vehicles at this point, it won't be long before we are going to be setting up our colony. So, since we're about 19.5 minutes into this episode, we'll go ahead and save the vehicle creation for the next episode, because it's going to take us a little bit to get back and then finish off digging here. We really don't need too much more, so I'm just going to kind of finish off the episode by just digging a couple more spots of these, and then we'll start off by heading back in the next episode, and then we'll be building our vehicle. Looks like it may get dark, though, by the time we have to do that, so we might have to sleep again. Fortunately for us, we're a little better prepared to deal with the creepy crab spiders if we have to sleep out in the open. I typically prefer to sleep in the camp, or one of the camps, or near one of the lifeboats, because there are usually tents and stuff around, or, of course, in the base when we actually get that going there, but for now, we're pretty much stuck sleeping out in the open until we get a little further down the line here. Now I'm just kind of holding down the button. So you'll notice that sometimes I dig really carefully in these kind of spots. I really don't need to here, but I'm trying not to like dig too deep either, because you'll start to swim and it makes it really difficult to actually mine this stuff. And I'm just making sure I get a whole bunch. I'll probably not have to come back here for a long time, if ever, through the Let's Play, because of the time I've spent here digging up this stuff. You really don't need a super ton of it. So hopefully anything else I'll need, I'll be able to buy from Lal, or I'll just outright buy the vehicle parts off of Adisa. So I guess we'll kind of see how that goes. But for now, that's pretty much going to conclude this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.